afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. We are in Wonju, Korea. It's Korea taking on China on game day 2 of the Asian qualifiers for the FIBA Basketball World Cup. A Group B battle and a rematch of a game that was won earlier just in this window by Korea in the famous Wukesong Arena in Beijing. You can see Japan also won over Chinese Taipei 90-64. Korea had to hold on. They went up by 18 against China, but had to hold on right at the end. And now all those teams in action again. So here are the standings coming into today's game. Japan and Korea up at the top, China and Chinese Taipei down at the bottom. And it's worth remembering that China made it to the FIBA Asia Cup final. They beat Korea along the way in the quarterfinals. Japan also obviously had some great moments in recent times, making it to the Olympics, having the highest finish among the Asian teams at the FIBA Basketball World Cup. But they had a disappointing FIBA Asia Cup. So you just don't know from one tournament to the next, from one game to the next, what we're going to see from these teams. And we've got, you know, different players that show up for rosters. Joe Chi, you would think, would strengthen this China team coming in, but again, the shakeup in rosters didn't work. That man right there was certainly outstanding for China. Zhang Jinglin almost led them back to an incredible win. Number 77, his stock went way up with his performance in that first game. So we will see what is going to happen this time. But you look back at the history of these matchups, 11-6 advantage in favor of China over Korea. Of course, that goes all the way back to the 1948 Olympics, which might not have as much relevance these days. China winning that game 49-48. But in more recent times, it's been very even, very close. Korea won the last game just a few days ago. Before that, China beat Korea in the quarterfinals at the FIBA Asia Cup. Then in the group phase for the 2022 FIBA Asia Cup in Indonesia, Korea won that one 93-81. Before that, China won 77-73. Korea won the one before that in 2018 in the Asian qualifiers for the 2019 FIBA Basketball World Cup. And even before that, China won over Korea by 11. So it really has been a give and take with these two teams. We'll see if recent history holds up and China wins today, since they seem to be alternating. Anyway, the players on the court for the national anthems. here in Gwangju. China and Korea getting ready to trade blows again, and we'll see the referees who have the assignment for today. Crew Chief Glenn Cornelio from Philippines, to his to our left rather, James Alexander Boyer from Australia, and also Leong Chung Wang from Singapore. Well, while Liao Sanying had some great moments, especially early on for China, kind of carried them, gave them a chance. We have to talk about Lee Hyung-jun from Korea, but in just a second, because we're going to give you the starting five. Do Shi-young, then we've got Song Fan-bo, then Chung, Shuai Peng, Zhou Qi, and Zhu Junlong in the starting five for China. The coach Guo Shutsao, and there he is. Really did a fantastic job with his team at the FIBA Asia Cup. And really the only difference, the only reason he's not a FIBA Asia Cup winner, let's just be honest, it's because his hottest shooter in that game, Hu Ming-shun, missed a three-pointer at the buzzer when he was wide open against Australia. So sometimes you got to keep things into perspective, and they were in a great spot to win that game, and they lost it. Ha Young-gi, Lee Hyung-jun, Lee Jung-hyun, An Young-jun, and Lee Seong-hong, the captain in the starting five. Yang, Byeon, Kim, Lee, Moon, Lee, and Kong coming off the bench for Chun Hee Chow. And there's the coach. And boy, he really had a fantastic moment. As his team won that game the other day, it was due in large part, I think, to the play of Lee Hyung-jun. There he is, who had a World Asian qualifying, or World Cup qualifiers record performance from his from a shooting standpoint. He just wasn't missing from three-point range, and it continued. It started in the first half. It continued in the second half, and when he walked off the court of that game, Lee had hit 9 of 14 three-pointers. He also had 14 rebounds. Played almost 38 and a half minutes. So he had 33 points, 12 of 20 overall from the floor, 3 of 6 inside the arc. Now, if you're going to pick holes in his performance, he had 0 assists and 4 turnovers. So perhaps never has a assist to turnover ratio been more misleading for a player's performance. Obviously, he's not a point guard, but this guy was the kryptonite for China. And can he do it again? Well, you know what? We've seen some of the guys in these qualifiers have a great game, and you think they're going to cool off one next. It's not happening. They continue to play well. Much of that might depend on the attention that he faces from China. Maybe they'll try to take him out of the game. But Lee is experienced. He's a veteran. And if they do overcommit to him and they do try to freeze him out, I'm pretty sure he's going to know what to do with it. He's going to find the open man. Now, it's pretty hard to beat the crowd that China had in their game at the Wukesong the other day. That was an electric situation. The atmosphere was terrific. And Korea's play just kind of silenced them for parts of that game. And, you know, now it's the shoe's on the other foot. They've got the roaring crowd here behind them. And let's just see how China handle that pressure. Maybe it's going to help them take their games to new heights. So Zhou Qi, the famous center, will be jumping center, and China wearing their red and yellow going up against Korea in the white with the blue trim. And he'll be jumping center against Ha. Well, hello everybody, welcome to Korea. We're underway, Korea against China, the second time these two teams have met here at the start of the FIBA, of the Asian qualifiers for the FIBA Basketball World Cup. World missing and no box out. That's not a good sign for Korea, and it's a very good sign for China if Jo Chi can get involved early. Remember, Korea won the first game by 4 points after leading by as many as 18 or 19, excuse me. Here's Ha putting it up and knocking it down. Well, that's a better sign for Korea. He had a great start the other day, and he has one today. There's the bump and the turnover. Calls the play. Jo Chi kind of sagging on him. Oh, Guo Shiyan really out there putting some pressure out of the perimeter. And we know that he's feisty, and we talk about how they're going to impact, how they're going to guard Lee. Well, I think we just got a first taste of it. Although, in fairness, that's kind of how he plays anyway. That was early on, and another foul. This time it's Lee Chung-young that goes down. Lee Chung-young, rather. So 2 fouls on China on this possession. Lee, a little bit too much dribbling there, trying to get past Guo Shiyan. He hands it off to Sung. He's denied by Lee, and they turn it over. Good work by the captain on defense. Not giving an inch. Lee again, guarded by Guo. Now Jo Chi comes out on him. And they do force it out of his hands, but it leads to an opportunity. Ha gets down, but it's a contested attempt, and Jo Chi stands tall. Guo Shiyan. Sung. Downtown misses. Here comes On. Not tempted, which is unusual for the Koreans. They have so many guys that put up the threes. Oh, nice pass into the lane. Putting it up and in, Lee Chung-young. Coach Guo already, well, getting ready to bring in Jong Jin Lin, who was his real leader in that first game. Now the defense and the patient whistle and the foul. So Song Fan Bo going through the line. Let's have a look. That was the previous shot. Oh, pretty good defense. I think you could understand why the call was not made by the referee on the baseline, but then from the wing, you could understand why the call was made. Because it was definitely, I guess, falling over as well kind of puts even more pressure on the ref to make that call. And the second one from Sung is good. And you heard a player say, hey, that was a late call, but actually it wasn't. You know, it's because the call initially is supposed to be made by the referee on the baseline, and if he doesn't make it, then the other referee, and the other referee, if he thinks he sees a foul, he will wait for him to call it, and if he does it, then he will call it. So that's why that was a slight delay. Lee launches, got it! Lee Chung-yeon. And the best thing that can happen right now for Korea is that other players step up and start making shots and not leave it all up to Lee, who had the 9 threes in the first game. Here's Hu Min-chun driving in and turning it over, and never saw him reach the level that we saw him at the FIBA Asia Cup in that first game. Here's a 3, yes! Number 6, Lee Chung-yeon is the man with a hot hand today. So timeout for China. On the back foot here early on because of this man. I wouldn't say he was wide open, but still, this time he allows Jen Chun-yong to kind of fly past and put it up and in. Korea, very confident unit right now. So you see the early shooting advantage for Korea, and that man, Lee Chung-yeon, doing the damage. He played back in the Asian qualifiers for the FIBA Basketball World Cup 2019. He was still young, but he's really kind of forced his way now more into the reckoning, although he only played 2 games at the FIBA Asia Cup. And almost a turnover. Here's Hu Min-chun, looks good, but it bounces off the rim and over the backboard. I'm trying to remember if he picked up an injury at the FIBA Asia Cup, and that's why he only played the 2 games, because he averaged 16 points per game. I think that was the case. Anyway, down low, and Lee gets the bucket. Most popular man. You know, you talk about who stood out in this window. Well, there was Lee. We know clearly Ignas Sargunas from Lithuania stood out. Gabriele Procida from Italy has stood out. There have been so many standout performances in the World Cup qualifiers. Here's a 3-point shot. Here comes Korea once again. Lee for 3. Went for the rebound, but now China has it. And then Jong throws it out of bounds. Still early, but Korea with the 12-4 lead and the momentum. Here's Lee again. This time he's going to put it on the deck. He's going to go. He's going to score with the left hand. And he was guarded by Jong. Liao Sanying. Quiet start for him. Number 5 for China. They need him to get going. Here's Hu. Here's Jong. Now Lee. The open floor. Excuse me, that was on. And Lee Chung-yeon loses it out of bounds. Well, you can make that motion. Like, why did you call it? he's going to call it. It looked in live play like the referee's got it right, but maybe he did touch it. We'll see. Because the Korea coach, Chun Hee Chow, says, I want to challenge it. So Glenn Cornelio, the crew chief, says, bring up the video. Did it go off the foot? It looks like it might have gone off the foot of who? Yes, it did. So it went off the foot of Hu Jing-chu. Well, this will be an easy overturn. And some coaches will not want to use their challenge so early in the game, but I suppose when you know that you're going to get the ball, and also this is an important time of the game, you might as well use it. So indeed, and now he'll probably get the angry look from the Korea coach. Why did you make me use my challenge for that? But at the end of the day, that's why the challenge is there. Every coach gets one. Just depends when you use it. Here's Lee posting up, little turnaround, oh my. Looking like a little dirkish with that one, and now the turnover. But the pass from On gets away from Lee Chung-young. That was a missed opportunity for Korea. They would have an easy layup. And instead, it's China. They're going to get potential three-point play with Hu Jing-chu. And that is the type of missed opportunity for Korea that is going to put gray hairs on the head of the coach. Now, this is Dirk Nowitzki-like turnaround. And a clear foul from Lee, catching Hu Jing-chu in the head, in the face, when he went for the block. So Lee Chung-young goes out. Yang Jun-sok comes into the game. Number 4. Hu Jing-chu with the free throw, and it's 16-7 in favor of the Koreans. Lee now guarded by Hu. Thinks he can post him up. Gonna back him up. Here he goes. Up. Well, I think he's lucky, a little lucky to get that call. Looked like he just lost it. What's this? Well, maybe the swipe from Hu Jing-chu got him. Interesting. Lei Mong checks into the game early. Go! Look at the attacking play. Great offensive rebound and putback by Ha. Lee Mong, number 39 for China in the game. Here's Zhang in and out. Yang to Lee, the captain. Lee Si-young gets it to the elbow where Ha's waiting. And the lead goes to 20-7. Terrific take by Liao. Ooh, nice handles. Lee open. And good work getting to the basketball. Number 11, Lee. Ha And Ha spins and turns and scores. Ethan's not quite good enough for China right now. Liao drives in. He's got a chance for a three-point play. Yeah, I mean, that's a great, terrific finish. You saw Liao just, Ha got his hand in there, almost took his arm off, and he still made the shot. So Liao Sanying, again, had some good moments in that first game, and does not make the free throw, and boy, that looked close as well. I thought that might have been China ball. And now we might see, well, will China use their challenge? No, they will not. Lee drives back over to Lee on the baseline. The captain knocks it down. He's been ever present with this team for a decade. And now the foul down low. That was the shot from Lee Song-yun. Now 33 years of age. And the drive and the miss. The boys got to put those away. Talk about Lee. Lee's been playing with this Song-yun. Here he is, the captain. He's been playing with the team since the 2015 FIBA Asia Cup. And tough take from Lee Won-sok, and he's fouled. And here's another guy that was hugely important in the first win. When Ha left the game early on, you felt like, okay, China have now gotten the main enforcer out of the game for Korea, and now they can make their move. But instead, Lee came in and brought toughness, physicality, points, rebounds, and helped Korea extend the lead. In that first game, he only had 2 points, but he fouled out, but it was his overall physical tough play that helped Korea in that game. So he makes both free throws. Hu Jing-chu going up, missing. Lee Mong with the rebound. Liao drives in. Tough take from Liao Sanying. Han Jun-sok, the final 40 seconds of this first quarter being played. He whips it down low. Well, I think he made that a little harder than he needed to, but Lee Won-sok, this time with the field goal, and it's 28-13 Korea on top of China. And Coach Guo still looking for some solutions. Liao nowhere to go for Liao. He turns it over. And Korea going to get it back. And I'm telling you, folks, basketball fans in China, they just were celebrating that incredible performance for this China team at the FIBA Asia Cup. Must be thinking they're not watching the same national team right now. Obviously no Zhao Rui. He was an important player in that team. Here's a three-pointer from Lee. And that was short. It goes out of bounds. Could be a little bit more time on the clock. Also, they don't have Wong Jung-ji. Oh! If that didn't touch anybody, now Korea's going to have a chance to throw it up to the rim. Because that's the only thing you can do. Well, I thought China were a little bit unlucky. I thought there should have been more time on the clock after the last miss by Korea. Well, they get it up. That was a good chance for Lee. And Lee Mong defending him. But even without that miss, Korea right where they want to be, in command early, 28-13 against China. Korea 10 of 13 inside the arc compared to China 6 of 9. And look at that, China 0 for 6 from deep. And even at the free throw line, they've struggled, just 1 of 4. Well, Korea coming into today off the back of that big win in the Wukesong in the first meeting in this window against China. And I thought they were just maybe a tad lethargic, but you'd also have to say the same thing about China. It's not that far to travel from Beijing back home to Korea. But after a slow, maybe minute-and-a-half start, Korea started to find their rhythm. And it was almost as if they pushed the start button again. And now we're seeing the team that was so good against the Wukesong. And perhaps encouragingly for them, they're not having to overly rely on Lee Hyung-jun, who had the 9 3-pointers. It's everybody else that's stepping up. The big question for China is, what is it they want to do, and who's going to do it? Because they have not looked good on offense. Scanning the QR code to get courtside 1891 so you can watch live video streams, extended video highlights, and stay up to date with the world of international basketball. Here's Lee, and again, he just grazes the net with that shot. China looking for some solutions. Zhu Chunlong in the game, number 26. Guo back in the game, who started the point. Hu Ming-shun in the left corner. Also Sung Fan Bo, who's got the ball now. Oh! And Chung puts it up, and that is not going to count, even if it goes, but it doesn't, because it was released after the shot clock buzzer. Got to be somebody, and really you can just see it written all over Coach Guo's face as who can step up and make a play. Because right now, nobody is. He gets it back to Lee, the captain. Turn around. And Zhou Qi with the rebound. Guo takes it in. Tough take, tough make by Guo Shiyang. I think he's got to stay out there just for purely his attitude. They need a fighter right now. He is definitely a fighter. Here's Lee, taking it deep, and Lee shooting over Guo. That's the disadvantage that he has when guarding Lee. Looks like he's about a full foot taller. Here's Hu Ming-shun down the right corner. They got to find him. He needs to get going. Now Guo, he puts it up from deep. Hu swoops in for the rebound. Can he get a catch and shoot three? He's going to drive in and get blocked. Great interior defending. Lee hands it off. Guo goes down, trying to get a charge. See if he tries to post him up like he just shot over him a second ago with that turnaround. Here he goes again. Same thing, same shot. And not the same result this time. Guo, open, gets it to Hu. Here it is. This is what they've got to make to win today, but he's long. Basketball is a tough game to figure out sometimes. How can you be hot one day but not the next? Here is Korea driving in, getting a layup is Lee Chong-yeon. He's had a brilliant start to the game. And Korea already with a 17-point lead against China. What a start for the Koreans today. Well, it's been all about Korea. In fact, you know, K-pop Demon Hunters could end up being the #1 song of the year. Granted, those are Korean Americans, but it's a very popular song here. Who knows, this Korean team, they might be signing off with a sweep of China in the Asian qualifiers. On this early evidence, we did see China able to turn up a notch and really come back strong and threaten Korea in that first game. And the way they finished that off and the sense of desperation that they would have felt after that opening defeat, you would have thought that China would be coming out here breathing fire, but it hasn't been the case. If anything, it's been Korea that's continued to breathe the fire. Hu to the corner. Liao knocks it down. That's more like it. You don't have to get it all back at once, but you need to start getting some rhythm. Lee puts it up, and another three-pointer for Lee Chun-yao. Now the biggest lead of the game, 18 points. Like deja vu for China, only this time in Korea. Hu Ming-shun being hounded by Lee Chong-yeon. Now Jong Jin-lin misses on the baseline. And Lee Won-suk fouls Joe Chi. Nice stop and pop. Korea's #6. Well, we didn't see Korea at the last FIBA Basketball World Cup. But they to get a win today, they're going to be looking very promising for them. And they'll really put China on the back foot in their qualifying campaign. 3-point attempt. Off target. to Ju. Lee Chun-young directing the play. Ha sets the pick. Lee puts it up, and another three for number 6. Well, same name, different player. This time it's Lee Chun-young. Has 16 points. And look at that, 4 of 4 from three-point range. You can't make it up, folks. Lee about 1.5 meters behind the arc. Coach, he fouled, so he goes to the line by Lee Jung-hyun. And this time Joe, who had some struggles at the line the other day, makes both free throws. He goes out. 16 points. Just 15 minutes into the game for Lee Chun-young. And driving in, gets the bucket. Woo Min-chun just rides him, but doesn't stop him. It's a 21-point lead for Korea. Woo Min-chun brings it back out to Jong Jin-lin. Liao. Oh boy, Hu Jing-chu missing an easy one. He's out of kilter as well. Hard to explain. It's just snowballing right now for China. Already a bigger lead than what they had in the first game. Three-pointer from the wing. Yes! How do you explain it? Lee Usok this time. China 0 for 10 from three-point range. Korea 5 of 8. Wow, dumps it down low to Hu Jing-chu. It's a 22-point lead. Korea called timeout with 3:40 remaining. That man's going to be, there it is, Demon Hunters. Lee Usok ferrying you from the wing. Hu Jing-chu answering, and Chun says, let's talk about this.
피가서 지금 이렇게 몰다가 여기 들어가면 한 번 잡아주고 가야 되는데 서져 있으니까 이렇게 장난치다. 가자.
Well, look at the numbers. 0 for 10 from deep. They're 6 of 26 the first game. The three-point shooting for China has been awful so far here at the start of the qualifiers. Two and a half minutes. We're going to keep the pressure on. Elects to take it in, turn around, short. Hu Jing-chu standing tall, standing firm. Just coming out of a timeout, he looked a little uncertain of what they wanted to do, and Hu Jing-chu called for the foul on An Yong-chun. Look at this again, setting. Yeah. He just barreled him from behind. What are you doing? Who? You were All-Star 5 quality at the FIBA Asia Cup. Oh, that's a travel. Ben went down. Chun Yao. Tell you, look at this game. You look at Korea, the way they're playing. You look at how Australia, New Zealand played earlier with Bevo Hickey hitting the game-winning three, banking it in. You look at Lebanon, Qatar, and FIBA Asia has a lot of teams to be excited about. Even more than that, in fact. Japan, there's the miss. Iran writing a new chapter in their history, which is a very exciting team to watch. Byung, Chung-Yeon looking for space, gets it inside, goes with a reverse layup. And Jong Jin-Lin just looking off the pace. Nowhere near the player that we saw the other day in the comeback. Where's the hunger from China? Here's Chung putting it up from deep, and that's more like it. Chung Shuai Pung. Cha-ching. Let's see, Lee Hyung-jung getting a little frustrated over there for Korea. The way he's been guarded. On. Byung for three. Another three for Korea. Well, China are going to be tossing and turning when they go to bed tonight, just seeing Korean jump shooters making three-pointers. Extraordinary shooting display by the Koreans in this window. What a drive. And the whistle blows. And here is the spark. It has finally arrived for China. Number 6, Chung Shuai Pung, having just hit a three. And then he gets this beyond. Chung now has 5 points. He scored on the drive. Now he's at the line for the potential three-point play. 1:25 remaining in the first half, and he does. So let's see if he is going to light the touch paper for a comeback. Yeon-Chun Yao, bounce pass. Ha, mid-range, short. Lee Hyung-jung gets it away. Contact. China come up with the basketball. Now Guo calls the play. Oh, an offensive foul. Chung, just as he was sparking the team, he's got to maintain his composure. And this is not a very composed play. Watch number 6. Just not good enough, number 6. This is basketball, not smash up derby. Chung just made a couple of big plays. And the Korean fans, a lot to like about their national team at the start of these Asian qualifiers for the FIBA Basketball World Cup.
상대 슈탄스 보고 더블 어웨이를 가는데 더블 어웨이를 갈 거야. 현중이가 여기 상재, 윤기, 준영이, 우석이, 현중이가 컬로 사이로 들어가. 사이로 들어가서 상재 맨 걸어줄 때 윤기도 같이 들어가서 걸어. 상재 나와서 슈찬스 봐. 찬스 안 되면 현중이 코너, 윤기 떨어져. 준영이 가서 안 되면 바로 이제 들어가.
Here's the drive, and Lee's going to the line. Free throw's good. 49-27, Korea on top of China. Another handoff. Final 20 seconds. Chung foul shooting the three. Oh, that's just not a smart play by Byung Chun Yao. Good work, Chung. Getting to the stripe. This is the first. And second one is Zhao Rui. They've played like if he'd been in this team. And there is the third free throw that goes in. So it's 49-29, 20-point lead. Can China perhaps get a steal here, go the other way for a bucket? Try to get a little bit more momentum to carry into halftime. Byung Chun Yao has it, steps back for three, got it! Unbelievable. Breathtaking first half performance by Korea against China. (52-29), Korea on top of China at halftime. So Korea 14-23 inside the arc, 7 of 10 from deep, 3 of 4 at the line. China just 1 3-pointer for 12 attempts. Korea out rebounding the Chinese, out assisting them, not surprisingly, with this scoreline, and China with 9 turnovers, just 3 for Korea. So it doesn't speak highly really of the defense they're facing. And 16 points by Lee Chung-yeon leading the way for Korea today. Second quarter best plays. Whoa. Trying to do something for his team. Lee's gonna have the ability to shoot over Guo if he's guarding him. And nobody comes over and stops Lee Chung-yeon as he drives in and banks it in. Lee making that one from a long way out. Lee Chung-yeon perfect from 3-point range. And Lee Woo-seok also knocking one down. So again for Korea, when you look at the three-point shooting, Lee Chung-young with the perfect 4-4 from deep, 2 of 2 for Beyond, and also 1 of 1 for Lee Woo-suk. And it really puts China under pressure here in Gwangju.
Let's get this party started. Oh my goodness sakes, that's a throwdown.
Goes in for the dunk.
Good night. Too big, too strong, and just too good.
Bogdanovich, who goes in and scores. Ah!
This is what it's all about.
It's all one big basketball family, folks. Winning time. Both teams over the limit. You have got to be kidding me!
Here he goes again. Oh, no look pass. Straight into the hands of Ramos. And Philippines starting to show their quality, starting to impose their class on the game.
Here's Ha, take it down low and goes up for the two-handed jam.
Casey Tominaga's got Watanabe. There's the alley-oop and Ayasu Minasai. Watanabe Airlines, baby. What a dime. Well, you knew it was coming. Gilbeck. Oh, my goodness. Gilbeck down the middle. What a play. Well, big man just received the rock. And in the end, the Formosa's Dreamers just went in with a two-handed rim rocker.
Here's Lee, and oh, great hustle down the court and the block by China. A bit of a misread. That was really Beyond's fault. A great recovery and the block by Lee Won-sok.
Chang goes baseline, reverse layup, counted. Taoyuan Payan Pilots have won. What a move! Incredible.
Baseline pass. Oh, what a block by Galloway. Bodies everywhere.
Over 3 minutes. Oh, what a behind-the-back play. Kawamata. Oh, baby! Oh, Majide. The magic by Togashi. Finding Koya Kawamata. Incredible. Well, Nanji Deska. Nagasaki Velka gets the M1. Well, sublime prime-time dive. And arigato Tomodachi. Japan can have one final shot. There it is. It's up. Oh, Sugoi. Oh, Majide Baba Boom. Are you kidding me? Well, doesn't that give you memories of 2019? Japan has done this before. That is very similar to Rusei Shinoyama against Qatar in 2019 in the World Cup qualifiers.
How many times are we going to see this?
Baseline. Are you kidding me?
Papa Nicolau says, give it to me.
Go attacks the closeout, feed Bruno inside.
Fills it up. It's all right.
So it really has been a test for China against Korea, who just are playing at a different level in their two meetings so far. Both in game one here, and the game being played in Korea. Top scorer for Korea, that man right there, Lee Chung-young. Hasn't missed a shot. Perfect from deep. He came in talking about another Lee Hyung-jun. But now we're talking about a different Lee. There are 5 Lees in this Korea team. And Lee could not have had a better first half from a scoring standpoint. Yes, you can take a bow. Chinese Taipei and Japan also going to tip it off soon. But if Korea do go on and win this game, they will be in a very strong position early on in their bid to reach the FIBA Basketball World Cup. You see Korea with their three-point shooting the last game tonight so far. So they've actually shot it better from deep tonight. And cutting down the turnovers so far. There is the man with the hot hand. He's going to just kind of relax before he goes back out. So the first round, which is what we're in right now, you got 16 teams divided into the 4 groups. Chinese Taipei and Japan, the other teams in this group, and each team faces each other 3 times. So these are the 2 times that Korea will take on China in this group. Then they'll have a couple of games against Chinese Taipei and also 2 against Japan. And the top 3 teams from this group at the end of this first round will then go to the second round, and they carry the results over. So in other words, it's just kind of goes towards your overall record. And you know the host Qatar, who won impressively last night at Lebanon, those 2 teams 1-1. We know that Qatar are going to take up one of the 3 spots in their group. And then by the end of the second round play, when Korea and China take on the other teams that they come into, that if in fact China do, and they may not advance, they have to avoid finishing 4th in this group. But if they do advance and Korea advance, then they would take on 3 teams from another group, and then you've got the top 3 teams in each of the groups of the 16 groups that will advance, and then the best 4th place team. So if Korea were to start 2-0, they would feel very good about themselves, especially if they knock off China a couple times. Of course, they would still have a couple of hard games against Japan, and who knows, maybe Chinese Taipei will also turn it up a notch. But even if China were to advance with a couple of defeats, at the bottom of the group, it would really put them under pressure in the second round to win all their games, I think, to advance. Maybe be able to lose 1 game. And groups A and C will cross for the second round. So that means that Australia, Philippines, excuse me, so that means Japan, Korea, China, East Taipei, and China. The 3 teams from their group will cross with the 3 teams that come out of Group D, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Lebanon. So I think from that standpoint, they might be encouraging for the teams from Group B to have hopes of moving on into that next round. But still, you still got to start winning games. Well, coming up on 8 p.m. local time here in Gwangju. Second half coming up shortly. Scan in the QR code to get the World Cup Qualifiers app. Get schedules, results, latest scores, stats, video highlights, links to all the great stories that are being written about these national teams and their basketball players. Of action underway. China now attacking the basket to the right on your screen, and the very first play, the ball is thrown out of bounds. Guo and Chung trying to connect, or at least Guo trying to connect with Chung, and it's unsuccessful. Captain Lee missing. Here's Liao passes back to Guo, and that's a good sign. Guo knocking it down. I think one of the players that comes out of that first half with a little bit of credit for me for China. Yan gets it over to Lee Kyung-jung, and there he is, the star from the first win with the 9 threes, knocked down his first today. And now the turnover, and John slows up. Oh, he misses the layup. You cannot be serious. He slowed up. Oh, almost a grab there by Ha, and China, Chung, lay it up and in. Well, remember that steal, turnover, and then the missed layup by Bian Chun Yao here early in the second half. See if that has any negative. If it's contagious, well, now the ball thrown out of bounds. And a little bit of worrying sign for Korea here. They were sharp in that first half, and already looking a little blunted, a little mistake prone here in the second. Liao Sanying, oh boy. Liao Sanying, where are you throwing the basketball? Now the dunk, Liao back outside, Ha has it. And fouled by Zhou Qi. The game's become a little bit ugly for both teams. That's really hard to understand what Liao is doing with that pass. Here's Ha at the free throw line. And makes the first. Korea in the first half were 8 of 11 at the charity stripe. He makes the second as well. So good free throw shooting for the Koreans. Excuse me, now they're 5 of 6 from the line. They're 8 of 11 from three-point range. Jochi getting fouled as he turns. Ball kicked out of bounds. Jochi now 29 years of age. Here's a three-pointer for Hu Ming-chun. Korea come up with it. And pass to Ha, goes back outside. Lee goes down, and the foul has been called on Hu Ming-chun. Well, when you talk about fouling three-point shooters, you can understand why Hu is concerned about Lee getting the shot off. Obviously, he's not trying to foul him. So at least this one's a little more understandable. But you have to get in there with a little bit more control. Makes the first lead. You know, the bottom line is this China team is not playing well. They're not making good decisions. He's got to know that you can't hit the three-point shooter in any way, stretch, or form. This Korean team is mesmerizing for the fans. So all 3 free throws made by Lee, who has a pretty good fan base here. He plays professionally in Japan. And I'm sure he has a lot of fans here watching him over there. Chung putting it up, and another three-pointer for him. Makes it 60-37. Other than his unnecessary foul late in the first half, he's played well. Han on it from the 3. Here's Lee. Turn around. Oh boy, what a beautiful stroke he has. Spins left, fades. No chance to block that. Chung again, whips the pass to Guo. The performance, the result the other day by China certainly set alarm bells ringing in Beijing. And you know those sirens are going off already today because it has not been good for the Chinese. Three-pointer, another one for Korea. Lee is just in another world. He's unconscious. How do you explain the form of this man? Now 2 of 4 from three-point range, adding on to his 9 three-pointers the other day. But he's not just a three-point shooter, he is doing it all. And what started as a quietish game for him, he now has 20 points to lead the team. You're looking at the star of Asian basketball. Look at that. I'm not sure there's a big one right now from what we've seen in these qualifiers. He has been utterly sensational.
motion two 3一简单点儿，完再有的还要先抓反击，要时间都越来越少，明白？我的谁1号防谁还打3-1号。
There's a scoring by quarter. So Lee came in off that 33-point night against China as the leading scorer in the Asian qualifiers so far. Jalen Cole-Harris, who now plays for Jordan, had a big 42-point effort last night. He's at 32. They've played their 2 games. It remains to be seen how many points he's going to score today. Muhammad Ali Abdul Rahman, obviously, is a big-time player for Saudi Arabia. He's averaging 23.5 points per game. But Lee is he's just purely on scoring has just been out of this world. Skip pass over to An. Now back to Lee. It's kind of like China was fully aware of Lee in the first half, but he's just kind of started taking over now. Here's Lee. Sung Yun puts it up and knocks it down. The captain. 30-point advantage. And Hu Jingchu bowls over the defender. It's beyond Chun Yao that goes down. And how do you explain it? How do you explain this performance from a team that just looks so competitive, so fiery, so sharp at the FIBA Asia Cup? It wasn't that long ago. Nice playing by Lee. Lee Sung-young gets it over the high on the baseline. A masterclass by Korea continues. Kuo Chi-young fouled by An. I mean, I really expected China to come out just taking no prisoners today, just breathing fire. And it just has not happened. Their confidence level has plummeted. It's like deer in the headlights. Here's Guo. And they get to Hu Jingchu. Now the turnover. Song Jin-lin. Good pass. 3-point shot. Air ball from Ju Chun-long. Ha catches the long pass. Goes up and in. Well, Korea scored 80 points in the first win, 80-76. They've already got 71, and we've got 14 minutes remaining. Here's the drive, and Lee with the rebound. Three-pointer. And Lee Chun-young comes back, or Byeon comes back down to earth a little bit with that miss. And three-point shot is good for Chung. About the only thing that China has going for them right now is that there's still 13 minutes to play. Reaching and trying to get a foul. There were, if you go back to Jeddah, even in that first game against Australia, Korea played really well in that first half. But it just felt like they just completely ran out of fuel in the game and were run off the court in the second half as Guo goes out with his 4th foul. Australia ended up winning that game 97-61, but then Korea came back and dug in, played really well against Qatar, won 97-83. Then they beat Lebanon 97-86 in front of a huge Lebanese crowd, it might be added. Pass out to the wing. Chung, another one. Well, he's in his rhythm. Just get him the ball and let him put it up every time down. 71-45. Clock winding down. Lee, they're trying to post up. Lee Usok. Woo Jin-Chu turns and scores, and Korea want to call a timeout. They see a little bit of a rally developing for China, who closed the gap to 71-47. Korea still outscoring China 19-18 in this quarter.
다르게 돌아가려 그래. 왜 플레이를 다르게 돌아가? 그래서 어거지로 잡으려 하는 게 아니야. 먼저 연결을 시켜줘야지. 연결을 시켜주고 지금 힘 남아 있잖아. 빨리 가서 잡아줘. 지금 지쳤잖아. 좀 쉬라고 하고 좀 써줘야지. 자꾸만 다른 플레이를 하려 그래. 우리가 지금 하이로 플레이를 많이 할 필요가 없어. 누군지 알지?
So even though Korea won that game the other day 80-76, and they led by 19 points at one stage, China ultimately outscored them 42-33 in the second half. And you know, China were at home, they were being roared on by their home crowd. So in the end, it really was a case of Korea holding on, and you just wonder if that's possible this time. I mean, right now they're down 24 points. But Chun Hee-Chow, the Korea coach, clearly needed a timeout. Nice move, and the man that's been the star of the show, at least for the first half, Lee Chun-yeon, gets a bucket. And there is the foul. Chance for a three-point play. He crosses midcourt. 11 minutes, 20 seconds remaining. Shot clock winding down. Three-point shot. This time not there for Lee Chun-yeon. Here's Chung. Been a little bit hot. On 4-5 from three-point range. Off with that one. Foul called as Lee Usok goes down. That's on Chung. He's a physical player. That's on him. That's his second. Wow. I mean, you got to wonder if that's almost unsportsmanlike. like they go look at it. The referees will look at that. They might think, yeah, they're going to look at it. I think Chung's in trouble here. This is not a basketball play, and it could be maybe even termed an act of violence. And it has to be said, completely unnecessary. It's like an elbow to the gut. Certainly a left forearm. Cornelio saw it. He didn't see it from that angle. The other side is what he saw. Korea calling for unsportsmanlike. But yeah, I don't think there's any doubt this is going to be an unsportsmanlike, and then you just have to wonder if it's even more serious than that. We have to lip read here. We don't have the referees mic'd up for these qualifiers. But again, bam! It's just not good. That's not basketball. And it's a shame. It's coming. It's coming from the hottest player that China have on the court right now, and they're showing signs of coming back, making this a more interesting game, perhaps. And then you do that. That is, you know, it's just inexcusable. Now, I don't know, you could go back and look at the video and see if maybe somebody's done something to him like that. Maybe that's the case. Maybe that's why he's reacted. It's possible. But that was not good. So 75-50 after the two unsportsmanlike free throws, and it's also just re-triggered Lee Chung-young, who knocks down another three-pointer in his virtuoso performance today. Lee Mong missing Hu Jing-chu there for the rebound. And put back. It's a 26-point deficit. Final 8 seconds ticking off the clock. And Hu Jing-chu getting tangled up with Lee Won-suk. Yeah. That would be in the NFL holding and 15-yard penalty. So going to the free throw line. And number 23, Lee Won-suk, makes the first. Hey, he's even got some fans. And he makes both. Pulling up on the break, and Lee San-ying missing it from deep. And China, with 10 minutes remaining, trail Korea 80-52. Those are the shooting numbers. Twice as many threes for Korea, although China did heat up in that quarter. One more makes inside the arc for Korea. But the indiscipline of Chung has cost his team late in that quarter. Chung Shuai-Peng. We love plenty of talent, plenty of, players in this China team that can play basketball, and they've got the skill level, they've got the talent, and when they play hard and they're locked in, they're focused, they can play, but we just have not seen that China in these qualifiers. Unfortunately, unfortunately for China, we have seen Lee Hyung-jun focused like never before. And you remember when he walked off the court at the FIBA Asia Cup after the defeat to China in the quarterfinals, the tears streaming down his face. You understood how much it meant to him. And instead of feeling sorry for himself, he got back to work and got himself in as good a shape as possible for the next meeting with China. And these next meetings, he has been brilliant. He has 20 points. This man here, Lee Chun-yun, has 21 points. Ha has 14 points. And Korea have an 80-52 lead as we enter the fourth quarter here. China with a mountain to climb, just to make it interesting. Oh, banking it in and scoring Lee Won-suk. So the forearm to the gut hasn't messed up his shooting form. There's Chung. Out to the wing. Now Lee Won-suk has been told he needs to stay on his feet. He's been called for flopping. I'm not sure I agree with that. But anyway, Jong Lin misses the free throw, so the ball doesn't lie in those situations. So China get the technical with the flop and quote marks, and now they miss. So they're going to keep possession here. 9:13 remaining. Can China stage what would be probably the greatest comeback in World Cup qualifiers history and win at Korea, trailing by 32 points, or by 30 points here early in the fourth quarter. And Chung goes down, and he might have turned his ankle. Hopefully that's not the case, but the way he's lying prone on the floor right now suggests that he has injured his ankle, which is the last thing that China need right now. So he's not going to put any pressure on it. He's going to go over to the bench. Watch his left foot. Oh yeah, he rolled it. He turned it. Those do not feel good. So bad break for, well, hopefully not a break, but bad sprain for Chung. And unfortunately now China going to be deprived of their most informed player in this game as he goes to the bench. Koo Min-shun comes into the game, and as his replacement takes the free throws. So Chung Shuai-Peng had scored 19 points. He had provided plenty of firepower from the outside. He was playing tough defense, but he also had the unsavory, unsportsmanlike foul. He appears to be lost now for the rest of the game. unless they can work on his ankle and get him taped up and get him back out there. Woo Min-shun makes both free throws. Here's Lee from deep. He's got it. Oh, this is just getting incredible. We got to count up the threes for him now. His teammate had 9 threes. Okay, there he is. He's 6 of 7 from three-point range. Wouldn't that be something? Back-to-back, 9 three-pointers made by different players for Korea. If it happens, somebody get a message down there to the Korea bench and say, we need Lee to get some more threes up. Then you have a real quandary. We'll have to do a poll. Who's the best three-point shooter in the Korea team? And that could also apply for the best three-point shooter in the Asian qualifiers, since both would have 9. 8 minutes, 20 seconds remaining. Fascinating watching Korea get it together in these Asian qualifiers, remembering they didn't even play at the last FIBA Basketball World Cup. That was Lee Woo-sok with the miss. There's Joe Chi catching it and scoring. They have not been able to take advantage of his size. A rare exhibit of his length and size to be able to score inside. On missing it from deep. Lead is 29 points. Liao Yang. Oh, good job. Oh, look at Joe Chi getting it and getting the shot up, and then looks down at the Korean defender with disdain. So 2 free throws, I believe, for Joe Chi. Watch Joe Chi here. Ooh. Yeah, great job, Joe Chi. So he does not get the free throws. But he has the look of a player that he wants the basketball now. Here he goes, rolling to the basket. He gets it, he puts it up and in. Gosh, I was waiting for a ferocious slam dunk, and he just laid it up and in. He almost fell over. Looked like he kind of stumbled. 3 minutes into the 4th quarter, China. Are we going to have a last-ditch effort at a comeback? Oh, and Han goes up and misses. And Joe Chi there for the rebound. Chu drives in, and there's Joe Chi again. He puts it up and in. Scores with the left hand. And the goggles-wearing Joe Chi says, jump on my back. Teammates, we're going to come back into this with 6:34 remaining. It's probably still a mountain too tall to climb for China, but certainly Joe Chi seems to be awake. He's stirring. Look at this. Oh, he blocked that. Then he took it. Great rejection from the big fella. Great no call by the referee as well. Lee Chung-yeon. Here he is again. Bounce pass. And Ha missing it. Liao Sanying gets it to Joe Chi, goes up and scores, old school. Look at that, he is wide awake. Just pouring in the points. Playing some beast basketball. And China have closed the gap to 85-62, forcing Korea to call timeout. This is it again. Ha came in to get in front of him. Look at this. Just Joe just kind of pushes him out of the way. He gets in and lays it up. It's interesting how he's not really going for the dunks. He's just going for the layups. Kochi now with 14 points, 12 rebounds. For some reason, he was not credited with a block on that last dunk attempt by Ha. I thought he had a block. Double-double for Joe Chi. Well, better late than never, but the question is he going to have a great finish that leads to an amazing come-from-behind win for China, who were down by 30 points at the start of the quarter. And now it's a 23-point lead for Korea. They're taking time off the clock. Maybe not a bad thing. Lee wide open for three. Well, I think you could see why they were a little bit reluctant to put it up. And now an offensive foul called on Joe Chi. Glenn Cornelio making the call from the baseline. Watch Joe Chi under the basket here. Oh, as he came up. Oh, yeah. Well, let's just say he definitely got him with the elbow. Now, whether or not it was intentional, that's another thing. I doubt it. I think it's a little unlucky. But it gives Korea more opportunity to take some time off the clock if, in fact, that's what they want to do. Although they're not going to, they're going to take a jumper. And Ha misses. Woo Min Shun, can he assert himself here late in the game? Here's another layup, and nope, it's a miss. But Chu is going to go to the line. And these Korean players on Lee Won-sok. Oh boy, and also Chu Chun-Long catching it in the face as well. This has become a full contact sport here in the head area in the last couple of minutes. Helmets required. He seems to have shaken it off though, Chu Chun-Long. China have a pulse. 2 free throws. Cutting the deficit back to 21 points. Lee with the bounce pass. And it goes off of Ha and out of bounds. Nothing paves the way for a comeback like turnovers. And we are in winning time, folks. 5 minutes remaining. Can Korea hold on? Suddenly, China alive and kicking. And the man that brought him back the other day, Jong Ling Chin, misses from deep, but it'll stay at this end. Jong Jin Lin hasn't been the force that he was in that great comeback by China. They came up just short in the first game. Joe Chi fouled by Ha. This is the first free throw. Well, here's a trap. Now the baseline, across the midcourt. And Korea definitely wanting to take some time off the clock here. China trailing by 20. Ha at the stripe. And that'll help Korean fans breathe a little bit easier. Lee back to 22. Chi turns. Suddenly looks like a different player. He gets fouled. But the question is, can Chi make some free throws? He is 3 or 4 at the line today. And in the first game, Chi at the free throw line, well, he only played 12.5 minutes. He made both of his free throws. So 1:19 remaining. It would still be an amazing comeback if they do it. And it does look like they can at least cut into this deficit. But coming back from 22 points down in 4:19, 4 minutes and 19 seconds, although you're at the free throw line, that's a big ask. Well, in that next window, China are going to play Japan in Japan, and then they're going to play at Chinese Taipei. Then they will finish up at home against Japan and Chinese Taipei in the third window. And there's Chung doing some treatment for his ankle that he rolled a little bit. Hopefully it's feeling a little bit better now. Song Fan Bo checking on his teammate. And meanwhile, Chi goes to the line and makes the first. And the next window, Korea will be at Chinese Taipei and at Japan. And then they will finish their first round with home games against the same teams. 87-65, a little bit of hope perhaps for the Chinese fans. Look at that, almost getting a steal. Zhong Jinlin rather. Lee Chung-young in the lane, missing. And now Hu Ming-chun. Well, the pass just led him a little bit too much, or maybe he wasn't fully aware that the pass was coming. But that's a turnover they could have done without. Again, no need for Korea to get the early shots up, but they are going to put one up. And now the ball deflected into the path of Lee, who hands it off, and the finish for An Young-chun, and that might just about do it. Under 3.5 minutes remaining, Korea go up 89-67, I believe the score should be. Here's a three-point shot, no good. Great hustle down the floor, on with Lee as well, making the pass. Lee with 24 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds. He goes out of the game, and now we've got Yang Jun Suk in to perhaps close it out. Rebound Moon Chong Hyun. Hasn't played much today. Coach Chun Hee Chow bringing in the reserves. I think the crowd wanted to see Lee Hyung-jun make another 3. There's Jong. Good job, Zhong Jinlin. So I think the score is 89-69. Three-point shot from the wing. (89-71). .140 remaining. Moon trying to make the bounce pass to Ha. I think probably there Ha's at fault because he kind of made his move. I don't know if it was a jab step or if he was actually making his move to go. If you're making a move to go to the basket, you got to go to the basket. As the passer thinks you're going, he's going to get you the ball. Here's Zhang Jianlin, who was borderline amazing in that comeback for China the other day, has not looked like the same player. So Korea, having missed out on the last FIBA Basketball World Cup, having lost to China in the quarterfinals of the FIBA Asia Cup, are going to get 2 wins in the first window of the Asian qualifiers for the FIBA Basketball World Cup 2027 to be played in Qatar. And looking like they have a great chance to be in Doha. Hu Jingchu looking like he's had enough. Getting locked up by Ha. And I dare say it might be a good idea for Chung Hee Chao to get Ha out of the game with the game won. I don't think Hu Jingchu is a dirty player either, so I think sometimes you just got to take a deep breath, guys. It's been a long window for China. They lose at home, they go on the road, they get beat badly again. Okay, the referees are going to look at this and see if there might be an unsportsmanlike that needs to be called. So good job by those guys. You can see that Ha and Hu with their arms locked. Yeah, that's Ha. He's got to know better than that. That's not good from zero. I think that's got to be an unsportsmanlike on Ha. And you can understand the reaction from Hu Jingchu there. It's good restraint, not to do anything else, in fact. Guo acting like the referee, number 0. Look at him. Yeah, so this will be 2 free throws in possession. I feel confident. I mean, these guys lock arms a lot during the game, so it just looks too obvious that they wouldn't call it. And that's when we saw, you know, when you saw Chung Shui-Peng for China get the unsportsmanlike earlier, it makes you wonder maybe if there's something else that had happened that made it look. Okay, so they're not going to call it. They're just going to say it was a part of the game. Okay, well, they had a long look at it, so they can always learn, and I've learned that it's okay to lock arms like that. The China fans not giving up hope. And listen, it's only 1 game. They still got plenty of time in their qualifying campaign to put this thing right. And maybe the best thing that could have happened to China was losing twice to Korea, because it'll make them realize they got to come ready to play every window. They got to be locked in when their name is called, when they go to training, to practice, to training camp, that they're ready to learn everything and understand the game plan and to pull together. And it feels like this is what we've seen from Korea. They have really bonded well. Look at that shirt tuck. I mean, that's Ju Chun-Long. So there has been a lot of stuff like that going on in this game. I think that we'll just be relieved when this game is over because it's getting ugly. Yeah, just pull it back out. And if you're China, there's no need to be fouling right now. There's only 29 seconds. You're down 14. Just let the game kind of ease to its inevitable conclusion. Ha is right at the center of everything. Look at that. Trying to get really physical here right at the end when it just doesn't matter. Well, who knocks it away? So they've got another chance, and now a foul call with 16 seconds left. Well, the coaches tell you got to play to the finish. China has closed the gap to 14 points. So they would need 4 threes and a bucket to tie it, or say four threes after these 2 free throws. Blow misses the free throw. And again, after the Ignis, oh boy, Zhao Rui just not happy. I think China need him back in the team. After the Ignis Shargunis show against Great Britain with 3 three-pointers in the last 9.8 seconds, I think teams probably believe anything is possible. And Ha drives in, and Hu Jing-Chu gets the foul. It's going to be a long trip back to China for these players. Because it's for China to miss out on the World Cup for their basketball, that would be a huge disappointment. And I'm pretty sure they're going to rally and put things right and get ready for the next games. But I'll tell you what, when the draw was made for these groups, and this group came out with China, with Korea, with Japan, with Chinese Taipei, it just made you look and think, wow, what a first round that's going to be. And there are no easy games for these teams, and especially for China. So Chinese Taipei will be potentially a very tough team for them, as will Japan. Lee gets the rebound, and that's going to be it. So big win for Korea, sweeping China in the window, getting a measure of revenge for their quarterfinal loss at the FIBA Asia Cup. Humble pie being served up to all of the Chinese. It's Korea to win it 90-76. Well, a job well done for Korea. They went to China, they won the opener, and in that performance, you knew that these guys meant business, and they've been able to build on that success by beating China once again, this time at home, hitting 11 threes, 22 of 39 inside the arc, 13 of 15 at the line. China did out-rebound them in the end by 12, but 7 more assists. Look at the turnovers for China, 7 more. And you can see Lee Chong-yeon and Lee Hyung-jun and Ha, the leading scorers for Korea. And maybe this will serve, maybe this will make China stronger. Maybe this will get them to go back home. Obviously, the players are going to join their clubs, but when they get together again with the national team, I Concentration will be at an all-time high, and they'll come out all guns blazing in the next window. But as it is right now, the highlights are of Lee Won-Sok, Lee Chong-yeon, and everybody else in this Korea outfit just playing so well. Jo-Chi did have his moments, and he finished with a double-double. And unfortunately for him, he has to deal with the fact that he's a big guy. That, you know, teams are going to do whatever they can to take him out of games, and that sometimes can not be a lot of fun. You get hit a lot, you get fouled a lot, but he was still able to get a double-double. He's able to get to the offensive rebound and put back here. The turnovers like that just spelled disaster for China today, allowing Korea to get out on the break. Again, and it was great defense by Lee Hyung-jun to knock it away. He's been the best player overall in the series, without question. So here in Gwangju, the fans file out, all smiles, going home to enjoy a nice bowl of soup, perhaps before bedtime. And Korea, their players will go huddle up in the locker room, talk about things. So will China. China 0-2, not how they envision things. We can see Korea winning at 90-76, so they got their second win. Japan right now playing at Chinese Taipei in a really close game. So we'll see how those results finish up. But we do know that Korea will go into the second window with 2 wins in as many games, and China will be 0-2.